Hey, my name's John and we're going to go through the Build Your Own Padlock Kit. So here's everything in your set. You've got your springs, the base of the padlock, your plug, keys, lock shackle, pins, and your lockpick and tension wrench. So first you want to take everything out so it's all out and you can get everything easily. And then I would empty out your little container of springs and empty out your little container of pins. So first you're going to grab the big spring. You're going to hold the base of the padlock this way, so these little areas that will hold the springs are facing to your right, and on the left side you drop the big spring into the padlock. Then you're going to place the lock shackle down so it pushes the spring down like this. Then when you turn your lock around, you'll see a little hole, and that's where you're going to put the fixed rod. So you're going to push the lock all the way down while you drive that fixed rod in there, and that's going to hold your padlock together. So inside the container with the pins, there's a long spring. If you compare it to the other springs, you can see it's a lot bigger. And this spring we're actually going to use to put in between these two pieces called the bolts. So you'll see there's a little crevice, you can slide it right in on both sides. So now you're going to take your bolt and the spring, assembled like this in this orientation, and gently slide it in here. This may take a few times because you want to make sure this middle section stays pointed down, because that will be important when it interacts with the plug. I use the lockpick here to kind of gently slide it in so everything stays in the right orientation. Next you're going to gently push in with the lockpick until you can push down the lock shackle. This again might take a few tries, but you should hear everything click right into place. So next we're going to work on the plug and getting all the pins inside of the plug. What I would do is line up your pins so you can see the sizes of all of them. There's going to be a couple different sizes. There's two different kinds of pins, the key pins and the driver pins. The driver pins will all be the same size, and the key pins will be of various sizes. So what I do here is I take one of these empty containers and I actually push it up so I can see the different sizes of all the pins, and that'll help me a lot in the next step when choosing which pins to go in the lock. So every lock and key set is going to be a little bit different, so you want to use your key and put it into the plug, and what you're going to do next is you're going to drop the pins in, and you want the pins to all line up evenly. So when you drop a pin in, you just take one of the pins and drop it in. And this one I got first try, it works perfectly. Drop the second one in, you can see this one is popping out a little bit, so that's the wrong size. So I want to go and find a pin that's smaller than that. So the second pin there is too small, so I'll take it out. And what I do to do that is I cover up the pins that are correct and I just dump it out. So when I drop the pins in too, you're dropping them, you can see there's a little pointy end. You want to drop the pointy end down into the key. So here's what it looks like when it's correct. Everything is completely even there when the key is inserted. So you'll remember that we put the middle section pointed down inside of the padlock. And so when you put the plug in, you want to make sure that these two sections are going on the outside of it. So that way when it turns, you can see the mechanism working in there, which will open up the lock. And then just push it down and twist the key back to lock it up. Next, you want to make sure that everything is oriented so the pins here are faced up, and we're gonna align the driver pins with the key pins that we inserted here. You'll notice you have one really large pin left. That is the position pin, and the rest of these are driver pins. They should all be the same size. So now we're gonna start dropping the pins in from the top of the padlock here to the bottom, and we're gonna start with that position pin. So just dropping it right down in here. And then with the driver pins, you're going to put them in so the flat side is on the bottom. So here we have all the pins inside of the lock. You'll notice again the pointy side is facing up where the springs are going to be loaded. Just like the key pins, if you mess up at all, you can hold the ones that are correct down and empty them out as needed. Next we're going to load these springs in. So you notice you have two types of springs left. You have one that has these two solid looking ends where the springs are wrapped tighter, and you have springs where it's consistent the whole way around the spring. So the one with the spring with the two tighter edges we're going to put with the position pin first right here, and then we're going to just drop the driver pin springs in right on top of the driver pins and just line them all up. So you want to make sure the plug isn't sticking out at all. You want to make sure that that's even. This is even with the body of the padlock. I would do it on a flat surface just so you can have everything steady. You want to put the padlock panel to close everything up on top of the springs and push it right down there. So you want to gently turn so everything clicks into place, and then you want to open the padlock. Then close back up the padlock, and you can take the key out, and you'll notice everything is now set into place. One last thing, so if you flip over to the back, you get a written instructional guide with pictures so you can see everything you're doing step by step in conjunction with this video here. Thanks for tuning in, and have fun building your lock.